What up, YouTube? Team Movies here. Now, with Disney Plus, launching, I decided to go ahead and do my 10 most underrated Disney live-action movies. Because I just did a video of my 10, favorite underrated Disney anime films. But there are some, underrated live-action Disney films that Disney has done. So, anyway, with that being said, here's my 10 favorite underrated Disney live action movies. And lots of these are actually on Disney Plus, which is pretty cool. Anyway, alright, coming in at number 10, it is Herbie Fully Loaded. Now, there's been so many other Herbie movies over the years, like, Herbie was a major classic, whether you talk about, Herbie Rise Again or whatever. Herbie Fully Loaded is a remake and stars Lindsay Lohan in it. I gotta say, I've always got a kick out of Herbie Fully Loaded. It's not really great, nothing like that. But I thought it was pretty decent. I mean, Volkswagen Beetle, I thought looked pretty cool, in modern times. You got Michael Keaton as Lindsay Lohan's dad. You got Breckin Meyer, Justin Long, Cheryl Hines. You even had a interesting cameo by NASCAR racer Jeff Gordon. This movie also had Lindsay Lohan also did a song for this called First, which I quite like that. I mean, Lindsay Lohan was a pretty good singer back in the days. I mean, I'm hoping she gets back into the music business pretty soon. But yeah, Herbie, I thought she was pretty good in Herbie Fully Loaded. I mean, Herbie was like one of the early, one of the it was one of the earliest Lindsay Lohan roles, like before Lindsay Lohan got crazy and all. And Herbie Fully Loaded was pretty decent. I really got a kick out of it. If you guys haven't seen it, give it a shot. Coming in at number 9, it is the 2011 film Prom, and it's about these. I guess you could say it's like High School Musical, just without the music in it, and they're just going to prom. Now, prom, it's about like kids who are getting ready for their high school prom and all, and it's really underrated. I mean, the movie got released in 2011. And it's really a film, like a Disney film that no one barely even talks about. Like, it is, family fare, but it actually has some adult content in it. Like, there's like a fight scene that ends up breaking out. There's some there's like some dark elements that happen, dark moments that happen in this movie. And Prom's pretty good. I mean, I quite like the cast in this. It's led by this actress named Amy T. Garden. Thomas McDonald was in this. Ian Gallagher himself, Cameron Monaghan was in this film. You even had Dean Norris. I mean, some really great actors, and it's really good. I mean, and I know that Disney Plus does not even have Prom yet. Which, come on, Disney Plus, get on that. Prom is awesome. I mean, the movie Prom was awesome. My Prom was okay, but anyway, if you guys never really seen the 2011 film Prom, I mean, next year it turns 10, by the way. Oh no, not next year. 2021. I meant to say this movie turns 10. So, dang. I mean, right now it's it's 8 years old since this film got released. But anyway, yeah, if you guys never really seen the 2011 movie Prom yet, you gotta get on that. It's a really good film. Alright. Alright, coming in at number 8, it is a film called Bedtime Stories. Now, this is actually the first Disney movie that Adam Sandler ever starred in. And it's where Adam Sandler plays this hotel handyman named Skeeter Bronson, who ends up getting an unexpected surprise when he ends up discovering that he ends up telling his niece and nephew bedtime stories, but something magically happens when the bedtime stories he tells them ends up magically coming true. And it's really good. I mean, I really got a kick out of it. I mean, obviously it is an Adam Sandler movie, so you'll get lots of people that will bash on this movie no matter what. But I thought Adam Sandler was great in this. You also had you even had Felicity Girl, Carrie Russell. You had Russell Brand in this. Courtney Cox. I mean, boy, Adam Sandler must have been a fan of Friends because he worked with Jennifer Aniston and now Courtney Cox. Dang. You even had Guy Pearce, Aisha Tyler, Rob Schneider had a great, funny cameo in this. Nick Swartzen, Teresa Palmer, Harry Potter dude, Richard Griffith was in this. Really great cast list. It's directed by Hairspray director Adam Shankman. It's a really good fantasy comedy. I mean, if you guys never really seen the Adam Sandler movie Bedtime Stories, it's really good, and I think it's on Disney Plus if I'm not mistaken. So if you guys see it on Disney Plus, go check it out. It's a really funny one. All right. All right, coming in at number 7, it is Muppets Most Wanted. Now, the first Muppets, lots of people, I should say the 2011 one, lots of people still acknowledge and on, but Muppets Most Wanted, I feel like no one barely talked about the sequel. Now, I will admit, Muppets Most Wanted was a major step down from the first film. I will admit there up front. But that does take away of how good Muppets Most Wanted was. I mean, you had some great actors like Ricky Gervais was in this, Tina Fey, Ty Burrell. You had cool cameos by Danny Trejo, Ray Liotta. You had even had Ray Liotta in this, Christoph Waltz. I mean, you had some pretty interesting cast members in this. And this, takes the Muppet Gang into like different destinations, and from Berlin to Europe and on. And it's not really that bad. Like I said, it's a big step down from the 2011 one because that 2011 Muppets movies was amazing. Not as good as the Muppet movie, I'll say, but I really got kicked out of the 2011 one. But Muppets Most Wanted, sad to say, it did not do so well. I mean, when it got released in 2014, it struggled. I mean, it did not make much money, and it like a Muppet movie like Muppets, are very popular, and also so the Muppets should have made some dough. Sad to say, it didn't make. I mean, it made some money, but like it was like I said, the money was also a big step down from the first film. But I think it's because for one, they got released around March. I mean, if this movie got released like around the same time that the Muppets got released, like maybe around Thanksgiving or the holiday season, it probably could have done a little better. But yeah. Anyway, if you guys haven't seen Muppets Most Wanted yet, it's pretty good. I really got a kick out of it. All right, coming in at number 6, it is Flubber. Now it stars Robin Williams as this as this professor who makes like these little green flubber things, and Flubber is a really good one. I mean, it's actually a remake, so I always keep forgetting this is a remake. But Flubber, with the late great Robin Williams, I mean, it's probably one of his most like underrated films in my opinion. Like Flubber is a really good one. It's really funny, entertaining, a great family affair. Robin Williams, he's done some interesting family fare movies where you talk about where you talk about Jumanji, Hook, Aladdin, and this was also one of the movies, like one of the comedies at the hype of Robin Williams' career, and it's a really fun one. I mean, it's a shame we never really got to see a sequel to this, but it also had a good cast. Like you also had Marsha Gay Harden, you even had Scooter McGavin himself, Chris McDonald, Mr. Krabs himself, Clancy Brown. You had Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Joey Benson was in this. Marsha Gay Harden. Some really good cast members, and those little like green rubber jelly things look pretty cool to watch. I mean, I think actually a reboot of this. I think a Flubber like reboot could look pretty cool today. But yeah, if you guys never really got a chance to check out Flubber, it's really fun. Alright, coming in at number 5, it is Saving Mr. Banks. Now, this is a movie about about the making of Mary Poppins and all. And you got Tom Hanks as Walt Disney, which I thought was brilliant casting. What great casting! You have Tom Hanks as Walt Disney. You had Emma Thompson was P.L. Travers. You also had Colin Farrell in this, who I think could have gotten an Oscar nomination because he was actually Colin Farrell was that great in this movie. And it is like the making, like of course, about making of one of the most iconic Disney movies of all time, Mary Poppins. And P.L. Travers was like very against of having her book, her Poppin book getting turned into a feature film. But it's really good. I mean, it's really a movie that no one barely really talks about. I mean, it's a Disney movie about about the making of one of the most iconic Disney movies there is. And Tom Hanks, I mean, that guy really embodied the role of Walt Disney. Really, that was really brilliant casting. And I like it's pretty cool to see, Disney World like on full display on the big screen. I actually saw this movie in theaters, and it's really great. It's very inspirational. It's actually my favorite Emma Thompson movie, believe it or not. Yeah, it's a really magical film. If you guys haven't seen Saving Mr. Banks yet, it's really good. I don't think this is on Disney Plus either. I gotta double check. But all right. Speaking of Lindsay Lohan, number 4 is going to Freaky Friday. Now, Freaky Friday, starring Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis as daughter and mother who ends up getting their body switched. Freaky Friday, directed by Mark Waters, who a year after this went on to do Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Freaky Friday is great. I mean, it is also a remake, which I actually could prefer this remake over the Jodie Foster one. But that does take away of how great the 2003 Freaky Friday was. I really like it was pretty cool seeing Lindsay Lohan become Jamie Lee Curtis and seeing Jamie Lee Curtis become Lindsay Lohan. Like that was kind of a interesting mother and daughter dynamic duo right there. You even had Mark Hamill was also in this. It's really like there are a majority of people who have actually seen Freaky Friday and enjoyed it. But I feel this is really one Disney movie that barely gets talked about, and it's a really great one. It has some pretty cool music in this. Great, not to mention you had Chad Montgomery was also in this, and this was one of the few films at the hype of Lindsay Lohan's career. In the early 2000s, she did stuff like Mean Girls. She did this. She did Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, which is another good Disney movie that no one barely talks about. But Freaky Friday, on the other hand, was I love this movie, and if you guys haven't really seen it, it's a really good one. All right, all right. Coming in at number 3, it is Holes. Now I kind of talked about this movie a little when I was talking about Shia LaBeouf movies. Holes, starring Shia LaBeouf. You had Sigourney Weaver in this. John Voight. You know, it is based on a popular book series. Not book series. Popular book, I might say. Holes is great. I mean, we're like this young kid named Stanley Yeltness as and kind of funny how Stanley's last name is spelled backwards. I actually always found that to be pretty funny. Anyway, it's where he ends up going to prison, and there he ends up having to dig holes and all for while in prison, because I guess that's something you can actually do when you're in prison now. And he also like there's some weird characters he ends up meeting in this. He ends up meeting people like with weird names like Squid, Armpit, Zigzag, Magnet, X-Ray, and Zero, who Shia LaBeouf's character Stanley ends up becoming friends with Zero. The kid who plays Zero, by the way, Kilo Thomas, I think his name is. He was a great Zero. I mean, get Yeah, that was a really cool character right there. And I mean, the movie was directed by Andrew Davis, who gave us The Fugitive. I mean, Hose is a really great one. I used to watch this movie a couple times when I was in school, and I still watch it once in a while when it's on TV. They show this on HBO a whole lot. It's a movie that still holds up today. And sad to say, the movie got released in 2003, I believe, or 2002, around the early 2000s. And it's really a Disney movie no one barely talks about. And this was a movie that actually made me become like a fan of Shia LaBeouf. Yeah, Hose is a really great one. If you guys haven't really seen Hose by now, do yourself a favor, give it a go. I mean, come on, you got Cobra in this. Uh, no, not a Cobra. You got a rattlesnake. I mentioned that. Yeah, some really interesting things that happen in this movie. But yeah, definitely go check out Hose if you guys haven't seen that. I gotta rewatch this movie again. All right, coming in at number two, it is Sky High. Now it stars this actor named Michael Egeranio, who plays a student who attends like a school for superheroes, and you also got Mary Elizabeth Winston, Kurt Russell, Kelly Preston, the Flash actress Danielle Pennebaker. I mean, yeah, it's a really interesting cast members in this. And Sky High is loads of fun. It is a very original superhero film. I mean, this is not based on a comic book, nothing like that. And it also has not to mention, it also had Wonder Woman herself. Linda Carter was on in this, so I mean, Linda Carter in a movie about superheroes, pretty cool there. Yeah, Sky High is such a fun, entertaining family adventure flick. If you guys ever seen Sky High by now, do yourself a favor, go check out Sky High. It's a really great one. All right. You're welcome. Coming in at number one, it is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, where Rick Moranis ends up, playing the scientist who's like kids ends up sneaking into his character Wayne Selensky, who's a inventor, and so where kids like ends up sneaking into his upstairs lab to retrieve this baseball, and he acts and his experimental ends up shrinking ray ends up military size them, so they become like a little, and so like Rick Moranis' Wayne character has to find a way to you know turn the back and all. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is awesome. Now they also did Honey, I Shrunk Ourselves, which is not all that good. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, on the other hand, is great. You had Rick Moranis at the height of his career. Rick Moranis is the man. Whether you talk about Spaceballs or the Flintstones and whatnot, Rick Moranis is awesome, and he played a family man really well in this movie. And the movie was directed by Joe Johnson, who later gave us stuff like Jumanji, the first Captain America film. He did a pretty good job with this movie, and it's a really fun, entertaining, action film. I mean, it was pretty much Ant-Man of the '80s. Like this, like you could tell that the movie Ant-Man was inspired by this movie. Granted, the Ant-Man comics was created before this film, but the film itself. But yeah, if you guys never really seen the Rick Moranis classic Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, give it a go. It's a classic right there. All right, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. 10. Herbie Fully Loaded. 9. Prom. 8. Bedtime Stories. 7. Muppets Most Wanted. 6. Flubber. 5. Saving Mr. Banks. 4. Freaky Friday. 3. Holes. 2. Sky High. And 1. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Now, there's loads of other ones I probably could have added. Let me pull up the list. Uh, Pete's Dragon, both the original and remake, are some good ones. What else? Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. You remember that one? Uh, Summer Magic. So Dear to My Heart. The original Parent Trap. I mean, the Lindsay Lohan one movie gets talked about, but no one barely talked about the Haley Mills one. That was a pretty good one. I still prefer the Lindsay Lohan version, but the Haley Mills one is pretty decent. Old Yeller. I mean, come on, it's a great dog movie. No Mobile. I never heard that one. Uh, Something Wicked This Way. Backbeard's Ghost. The Happiest Millionaire. Operation Dumbo Drop with Danny Glover and Ray Liotta. That's actually not that bad. The original Around the World in 8 Days. Not the horrible Jackie Chan one, but the original. Uh, there's also John Carter, but I'm not really big with that. I know there's lots of people who actually like John Carter, and that's cool, but Never Cry Wolf. I don't think I ever heard that one. Newsies with a very young Christian Bale. Homeward Bound. Remember that one? You know, Michael J. Fox and Sally Field. That's a classic one right there. Oh yeah, there's some pretty other like lots of underrated Disney gems out there. But let me leave you guys. What are some of your favorite underrated Disney live action movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Steve Movie signing